Hi everyone, my name is Courtney, and today I'm going to do my 2022 TBR, or just the top books that I want to read in 2022. Basically, there are still so many books that I want to read. I have a very long list. I have like 15 books in my TBR pile, but these are like the top books that I want to get to during this year, whether that be I own them or not. But let's get into this. The first book I have here is the sequel to Gideon the Ninth. I don't know what it's called. Is it called Harrow the Ninth or Harrow? But it is the sequel to Gideon of the Ninth. I want to stay on top of this series. I'm not sure if the third book is also releasing this year. I kind of hope so. If you don't know, Gideon the Ninth or the Locked Tomb series is a 4-book, or it's going to be 4 books, but it is a sci-fi series with a gothic necromancy twist to it, and it's basically about lesbian necromancers in space. It's pretty popular, and I just read the first book and I really enjoyed it, so I want to read the second book so I can be ready for the third and fourth book as they come out. The next book series I have on here is the Dawn series. I think this has a more official title, but I can't think of what it is. If you don't know, Dawn is a book by Octavia Butler, which I read last year, and Dawn is a sci-fi alien story, kind of first encounter, kind of not. It's basically about a young woman who wakes up in this strange place and discovers that she's on an alien spaceship and she's expected to kind of be rehabilitated and put back on Earth by aliens in like very structured specific societies. I really enjoyed Dawn, and the second book is Adulthood Rights, I think. Adult Rights. I think that the second and third book might follow different characters, her lineage, but I'm really excited to see what happens. I really loved the first book, so I want to continue and finish this series in 2022. I read another series by Octavia Butler last year, so I'd like to finish this one this year. Girls of Paper and Fire, the final book of that. I think it's Girls of Something and Fury? Fire and Fury? I don't know titles of books, but the third and final book of this series came out in November and I haven't picked it up yet, so I would love to read that and finish off the series. Girls of Paper and Fire I gave 5 stars to. I absolutely loved. The sequel did not do it for me. I think I gave it like a 2 or a 3 star, but I'm hoping that we can come back for the third and final book and really hit it out of the park, but we will see. I would also like to read the 4th and final book of the Long Way to a Slow Angry Planet series. Is it called the Wayfarer series? I believe that's what it's called. But the Wayfarer books by Becky Chambers are a sci-fi companion series. They are slice of life stories in space. They're set in different places with different characters. They are companion books, like I said, but they're all kind of just like slice of life adventures of people living in different space situations. And I really love it. And I only have the final book to read, so I would love to read that. Another new-ish release that I haven't gotten to yet is Winter's Keep by Kristen Cashur. This is like the 4th companion book in the Graceling series, Graceling Realm series. This is an older YA series, each with a girl like kind of growing into her own powers. I loved the first 3 books. Graceling holds a very special place in my heart as one of my favorite YA fantasies, so I need to get to this one. And I believe it came out at the beginning of January, so definitely need to get on that. Getting into some books that haven't been released yet, I want to read the Legendborn sequel, which I think is coming out this year. Legendborn is a YA fantasy series about a young girl who kind of discovers that there is a magical society, secret society on a campus that she's attending. I didn't love Legendborn, to be honest. Some things didn't work for me, but the elements I did like really pulled me into the story, and I really want to know what happens next. I'm not sure if this is going to be a duology or a trilogy or a series. I'm hoping it leans more towards duology or trilogy, but I'm excited to read the second book and see how it progresses. We have The Drowned Girl by Shauna Maguire. I don't think that's the full title again. The 7th book of the Every Heart a Doorway series is coming out, as always, in the beginning of January. Shauna Maguire releases one of these novellas every year, and I love them. It's about kids who survive portal fantasy worlds and are living in this school. Some of these books are connected, some of them aren't. They're all kind of connected in some specific ways, but this book is following a different school and how they deal with their kids, which I'm very interested in. I love this series. Some of the books work for me, some of them don't, but overall I really like this series and what it does, and I'm excited for this one because I'm very intrigued. And then the final new release I have on here is Fevered Star, which is the sequel to Black Sun. I really enjoyed Black Sun. it is an adult fantasy taking place in like a pre-colonial Americas, specifically like Central and South America. I loved the first book. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the characters and I really enjoyed the world, and I'm excited to see where the plot goes. So I'm really excited for this second book. And then getting into books on my TBR that I currently own. Of course, I would love to finish all the books that I currently own, but realistically, I would at least like to get to 2 of the books that I bought at the beginning of January last year. And for the first book I have 400 Souls, which is a anthology of different essays and articles and different things. And it is a like history book talking about African American history, like pre-colonial times or almost pre-colonial times through the entire history of the US. I've started this book and have read a little bit of it over the past couple months, but I have not finished it, obviously. That's why it's on this list. So I have another 200 to 250 pages left of this book, so I would like to finish it in this year. I've been really enjoying it, and I've really been enjoying reading it slowly. But again, I want to finish this book because it has been a really, really great resource. And it's one of the first books that I bought last year. And then for another book I want to read Yoke, which I believe I bought in February or March of last year. I believe it was on sale, which is why I picked it up. And Yoke is a YA contemporary novel about 2 twin sisters, I believe, or just 2 sisters. I think it's twins. But this is the 3rd book by H.K. Choi, and I love her work. I have loved Emergency Contact, and I really enjoyed Permanent Record. I think she just does something really interesting with YA genre books, and I'm excited to see a story that focuses on familiar relationships from her, because I think she'll do a really good job. But also, again, it's one of the books I bought earlier last year but never got to, so I'd like to complete at least a couple of the books that I've had on my TBR for a little longer than 9 months. But yeah, those are my top 10 books that I want to read in 2022. Are there any books that you're looking forward to? Anything that you want to read before next year? If you have a book you have to read in this year, let me know in the comments down below. We will check back in to see how I'm doing, of course. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later, and happy reading.